Welcome to another teardown video. This time it's another one of those homemade units from DMI, and this one is a Lab Riometer Model 3. So I think this is the latest version. I also got a Model 2, so I think I'm also going to make a video about Model 2. It depends a little bit on how that one looks compared to this one. But everything here is specially made in-house in the company, and it is just amazing how beautiful it is designed on this on the front. See, this is they're using this photo aluminium sheet, so it's looking really professional. It looks almost like a silk screened text. And so the trick is you can also add a little bit of varnish or spray coat so it looks really nice. So this is a calibration and test unit. So there is a servo meter and a test meter, and we got some adjustments here. I don't actually understand exactly what it will do. This is mains power. No, yeah, this is power supply, and we can do all sorts of different metering or test generators and stuff like that. I guess that will be on that meter. On the other meter here, we can do some test currents and power supplies and IF detector and stuff like that. And then there's a little built-in speaker with an on-off and volume. And this receiver here, or test generator and all that stuff, is for 40 megahertz. They made a lot of different ones for from 30 to 40 megahertz, depending on what kind of scientific experiments they wanted to perform. So let's look on the back. And the rear side is also very impressive. Again, it's the same aluminium sheet, and look how professional that looks. So that's definitely a good way to do it. So this one is not running off mains power, but it's running off a DC supply, 11 to 15. Okay, we can easily do that. We got some current output for a servo generator and a test generator here, where we can make some variable current and voltage here, and some remote start for calibration and stuff like that. And I guess this is the antenna input or output or something like that. So I think it's easier just to take off the lid and let's have a look inside. I can't help being impressed. Look how beautiful this is. I mean, clearly this is made by somebody that knows what they're doing. Oh man, this is nice. Look at those really long PCBs. It's full length in one piece. Oh, that must have been a little bit annoying to do UV and home etching and all that. And input filtration, and look how beautiful it's done with the cabling, and it is just amazing. Well built. And that is probably input-output filtration for everything. And that will be the antenna connection that goes through some filters. And here we got some diodes for selection of different filters as well, right? The IF section, and probably demodulation down here, right? We got some AM detection probably right there. And here's the audio amplifier for the little speaker, and power supply regulators, and the 4066 analog multiplexer, and all that is a sweep generator. So it's performing a sweep of the IF, so it's scanning the frequency band. Let's look up here. Isn't that just beautiful? Definitely how you do this. So this is version 3 of this product. I really look forward to see the version 2. Can't be as beautiful as this one since they made a version 3. You want to see the backside, right? So here's the backside. Oh, look at that impressive antenna connection here with this big fat coax cable. That is something. And that PCB layout is also very, very beautiful. And it says here 1978. So that layout is probably made all manual. And it's still that beautiful. That impresses a little bit, right? And if we look at the other section here, see? Down here, audio amplifier. Isn't that nice? With the text and a filter, phase detector, integrator. How nice. Calibrator. And up here it says switch drive, sweep generator. I definitely want to try and power this up and see what happens. Look at this. It is doing some sort of a sweep with the test sweep generator. I've cranked down the volume a lot, and we are now at 4. Look, 40 megahertz, and then it goes all the way up here. Hammer up. So crank it down the volume because that is annoying. See the meters, and then so it's doing a frequency sweep, and then it's monitoring what comes in, and try to make the signal really weak here, as weak as I can with my signal generator. I can only do like 2 millivolts, and that is of course an insane powerful signal when it comes to radio receivers. But yeah, this one really works. It's doing a receiver sweep, and that one works too. And if I change the frequency, I can of course make it receive something when it is, you know, at some other frequencies where it is right now, right? And see, then it's doing something like that and switching bands and stuff. And then I know it starts to perform the sweep again. And now it's probably... Is it coming back? Yes, yeah. Look. Nice and smooth. Isn't that just amazing? I don't know what all that stuff is doing. Not a lot. And then it goes away again. Yeah. Fantastic. And we can do some antenna. Oh, okay. So that is probably... What is that doing? Let me try and turn off my... So that is my signal. So I am interfering. Can you hear that? Ooh, that sounds funny. So I think it is also generating... I don't know what else. What am I doing here, really? Test generator, so there's... I don't know, a lot. Anyway, that was Model 3. And I definitely think we should try and look at number 2. Here is version 2 of exactly the same product. This one is from 1970. That is amazing how beautiful that one is as well. It's more or less the same features. the same text and all that kind of stuff. So it's also doing this servo diode and a test diode. And then we got this receiver built into it. So we got IF detector and voltage for the receiver and all that kind of stuff. So here it says the frequency is 32, right? And there's actually a little note here about changing the servo detector noise diode 5722, and that is done in 78, and last it was done in 81, right? So that is what they're doing. Everything here is a lot bigger, and you gotta see this inside here. Again, so beautiful design, a lot more discrete electronics. So that means, okay, it's a lot more complicated, right? But I think it's the same kind of receiver, but it's just made a lot bigger. We've also got the same kind of filter on all the inputs to that the receiver front end. We got again some diode selectors, and that will be the servo diode. And see here, they are missing. And we got this cooling holes and all that. So if I'm not mistaken, a 5722, that is a tube, right? A low voltage tube with only 1 volt filament. I think so, right? But I can of course look that up. 5722 diode. Yeah. And the super high quality trimmer. And that will probably be the audio amplifier for the built-in speaker. And everything is made here in really beautiful sections. There's so much order in this design. That is I am super amazed about this. All the power supplies and all that kind of stuff here. Wires. Oh man, I love this. So good quality build. The rear side of all the pot mirrors and switches. That is definitely a beautiful build. So this is the rear side. It looks a lot like the same. We got some test current, 150 volts to ground. That means this is probably the maximum potential you can do, right? And then there's a servo diode, power supply, but now it says 2.5 to 4 amps. Oy, oy, oy. That is a lot. Absolutely beautiful PCB layout. And that will be interfacing to the connectors. See, inductors and local capacitors and all that kind of stuff. This is just done so much by the book. Beautiful. This is how you avoid all sorts of interference and problems. Perfect. I love it when I see bandwidth limitations on all inputs and outputs like this. This is definitely how you want to do it. Good solid ground connection here. And here's our antenna input. Then, of course, the ground to the other PCB is taken from that point. Good idea. And that is our pre-selector and diodes for pre-selection, and that will be the missing diodes. Yeah. So I guess we're not going to hear a lot when I power this up. It's probably gonna be quite silent. And here's this Model 2, and that is from 1970. I also see here handwriting here, 32 megahertz. And it also say, yeah, on all the other boards, 1970, yeah. Yes, but it's, I mean, I did not do so beautiful stuff in 1970, I can tell you that. Oh, look at the layout here, it's just so beautiful. So that is 32 megahertz and 2 millivolts of input. And look at that meter here. It is also performing a sweep. See? All that, so it's definitely working. So how the heck can it be working without those detector diodes? And then, see, the calibrator here is, oh, thanks a lot, love. And so the generator is definitely working. And look at that. And if I turn off my signal generator, see? Yeah. So it's definitely doing all sorts of funky stuff here. Wow. I don't know. What are we doing? No, I can't even turn. No. Servo this and servo that. No clue what it's doing. But it's and that is the sweep thing, and it's gonna get real loud. But okay, receiver is working and it is doing sweeps and stuff. Fantastic. I don't have a lot more to say about this. I'm so sorry, I really am not deeply into the real functions or features or the purpose of all this super cool stuff here. But what I can say is that in the inside of the lid, there's a brown marking around this area. So somebody was definitely warm here. So I definitely expect this to be, some warm valves. So I just found the datasheet for the Sylvania type 5722 noise generating diode. Wow, so it is definitely a thing. Look at that. We have a filament voltage of 2 to 5 volts. And then 200 volts plate voltage. And there's a recommended circuit to give you a noise output. That is interesting. I didn't know that was a thing, but hey, we learned something today, so that was great. Sylvania noise diode. All right.